So this is some produce that's come over from Main Street Harvest. Amanda just dropped it off. And we've been doing a baker's choice Danish for the past few weeks, where we can use the old produce and make a baker's whim, kind of. So what I've got cooking now actually is kind of a toffee situation for a topping for this week's Danish, which is a spiced pear. I'm gonna throw these in the walk-in. Bareback. So in that basket was some Arizona plums, some peaches, and a few pears that have come to us from a farmer called Fred Wong, and he's got a farm up in Camp Verde. He's a really wonderful man. And so the pears that we're working with, it's a mix of Asian pear and Bartlett pear, and it's, what is it, brown butter, some kind of fall spices, and then the pears are cooked down into a Danish filling, which hopefully you'll get to see later. And yesterday I topped them with some toasted walnuts, but I wanted to make something a little special, so we're gonna do a maple candied walnut topping. So this caramel, what we're doing is cooking out the moisture from the sugar and from the maple syrup. And we're looking for it to get close to a hard to crack stage. I don't have a candy thermometer in here, so I'm making do. I've got some walnuts that have been blitzed in the food processor. And I'm just waiting for this to come up to the right temperature. And I'll be able to toss them in and spread them out on those sheet trays. And they'll cool and harden so that tonight when we're topping the Danishes for the market, there'll be a little extra crunch. I think actually next door there are some of the spiced pear Danishes that we can take a look at too. This is going to take a little while. It's only about 240. I need it to be at 300. So I took these walnuts, which come to us in halves and pieces, and I put them in the food processor. And because it's just going to be a topping for these Danishes, I wanted to make sort of a rough chop. I started chopping them by hand, and I decided that I'd rather wash a dish than have to do almost a kilo of walnuts. So those will go in here once this is ready. So this has maple syrup, sugar, butter, some sea salt, and a little bit of cinnamon. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and dump those walnuts in. Alright. Spreading them out so they'll cool. But I feel like I might have taken them out a little too soon. I was getting nervous because it's starting to smoke. I'm looking at how much liquid there still is, and I think that's moisture from the butter and the sugar. But like I said, we'll leave it be and see how it cools down. I'll put it in the walk-in actually. Then, Danishes. We're going to center them and press them in, and we're basically going to blind bake them. And these will have the spiced pear filling. So these will get a scoop of that. And I'll crumble up the walnut topping. Croissants, here we go. Bye-bye. So this is the, I guess it ends up being more of a brittle, but this is that maple, oh my gosh, what was in it? Maple walnuts thing. I think people just call them different things, but candied walnuts for topping for the spiced pear Danish. Yeah, it's actually a little hard to do by hand. So we've par-baked the Danishes. These are the Baker's Choice Danishes. We'll unramekin them. So this has the Asian pears, Bartlett pears, brown butter, and some spices. The brown butter, I think, really makes it sing. The milk solids and the butter get caramelized a little bit over some heat, and adds a slightly bitter note to a pretty sweet Danish filling. But I think the brown butter plus that maple candied walnut will actually make a nice pair. So I've got 2 more trays of this to do, and then these will go on the bake rack, and they'll be topped afterwards with the candied walnuts. So these are now finished, at least with the bake, and I'm gonna top them, or garnish them, I guess, with this topping. So the filling is set nicely. Just add just a little bit on top like that. I want to highlight the pear filling. I don't want to overwhelm it with too much of the caramel walnut flavor, but I'm looking forward to getting some feedback on this. I mentioned earlier that we use powdered sugar on a variety of our products. And this is one of the ways that we do that. It's almost like glitter in arts and crafts. It gets everywhere. It makes everything shimmer a little bit. All right, let's get some speed.